Hi, fans of high quality entertainment. Now, this side here is blank, except for the members promo. But I'm going to be showing you 10 albums from my lifetime that at one point I absolutely well, when I first bought these albums, I really loved them. But the thing is, with some albums, I don't know what it is. Maybe, I don't know if it happens to you also, but you really love the album at first, right? And you play it and play it. Maybe you play it too much in the first few weeks or months, and then you never play it again. It's like, and it's not because you dislike the album in the future, and no, I don't want to hear that, because I've still got 5 or 6 of these in my collection, and I'm not saying I never play them, but it's usually pretty rare because mainly I think it's all of the albums are in my brain. It's like I don't need to hear them again for whatever reason. I don't know if it's the songs or maybe the production, or I don't know what it is. Or maybe I'm just weird. But here we go. And just remember, if you're a fan of any of these albums, I still think they're all at least really good albums. Okay? Here we go. Nobody needs to see that. Yes, Bruce Springsteen. I respect Bruce Springsteen. I enjoy his music, mainly the early years. I'm not that familiar with his later albums, but I was buying them for quite a while, and I do have Tunnel of Love in my collection. It's my favorite Bruce Springsteen album, and I enjoyed Nebraska, The River. I bought all of those back in the day. Darkness on the Edge of Town and whatever. And with Born in the USA, Bruce's biggest album, when I bought it, I really, really liked it a lot. I don't know if I loved it, but I really, really liked it a lot. And I probably played it quite a few times in the first few months. And then there was just a point where, okay, I've heard enough of it. And I still know all of the songs. Like I said, they're in my head here. And I just don't desire to ever hear the album again. But I think it's a very good album. So that's the first one. And like I said, there's 10 of these. Next up. Oh, and they're ranked too, from ones I really don't need to hear again. And number one is, like I said, the 4 or 5 or 6 of these I do have in my collection. So number 9, which I would listen to before Born in the USA, is Supertramp, Breakfast in America. My favorite album of theirs is Crime of the Century. And this, of course, is more radio friendly, more pop rockish. And I really, really did like the album. Goodbye, stranger. It's been nice. Thank you. But I played it for a few weeks, few months, and then that was it. I went back to listening to Crime of the Century, which is an album I rarely do play, but if I do listen to it, I'm not tired of it. It's still kind of exciting to listen to. So that's number 9. Number 8 in the rankings. And as always, please remember to thumbs up the video. I really do appreciate it. And leave a comment below. Number 8. Now, this is just a rumor, but Rumors is one of the best-selling albums of all time. I bet you didn't know that. And I still really love Fleetwood Mac, especially this period with Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. the self-titled before Rumors, and then Rumors and Tusk. Those were the three that I bought. And my favorite is Tusk. I don't have it in my collection, but I wouldn't mind having it again. And with Rumors, I played it a lot, and it's a fantastic album. But after maybe a year or two of playing it, I'd had enough, and I really don't need to hear the album again. But it is a great album. Next up, number 7. Yeah, as some of you know who have been a follower of my channel for a while, I was a huge fan of U2. They were only second to the Beatles and maybe Sparks for many, many, many years. But I finally gave up on them about 2012 or so. But I still appreciate and respect the early years, up to maybe Octong Baby, and a couple of the other ones after that were very good too. I saw U2 in concert twice, on the Joshua Tree tour and in 2005. And they are, overall, they're a great band. And I absolutely love this album for quite a few years. But the thing with this album is, even in the first year of having it, like I said, I grew tired of it pretty quickly actually. And so I rarely played it. I play other U2 albums. Like Octong Baby, even now, if I listen to it, I'm not tired of it. But even today, the Joshua Tree, it's like, I don't need to hear it. I don't need to hear, I still haven't found what I'm looking for, which is a superb song. It's just when you hear enough of a certain song or album, it's like, okay. But the funny thing is, with the Beatles, right? They're my favorite band of all time, and even Sparks and other bands like Blue Oyster Cult. I never, ever, ever get tired of hearing their albums. I play the Beatles albums every week. Sometimes night after night, I'll listen to one of their albums. I've heard Abbey Road like over 1,000 times. Next one. Yes, this one I know upset some of my viewers because XTC are a fantastic band. And I do have their double disc of the Dukes of Stratosphere, all of the work they did on that, which I love. But even that I rarely play, but it's excellent. And I had at one point most of the XTC albums. I was a big fan. And in 1980, when I bought Black Sea, I played the hell out of it. That's right, the hell out of it. And then there was just a point where, once again, oh boy, I've heard this album enough. So yeah, I don't even desire to have it in my collection anymore, but it's a fantastic album. Now, the rest of these I have in my CD collection. Yep. I have every album by Lou Reed, all of his studio albums and some live albums. And I know that this is probably one of the most highest rated Lou Reed albums, if not number one. And so when I bought this one, I loved it. And I still think it's a great album. But I would just rather listen to Street Hassle, The Bells, even his debut album or one of his later albums. And I just got tired of it fairly quickly. And I don't know if it's the songs or if the production was not that interesting or whatever. I don't know what the reason is. Maybe somebody else can explain it to me. But I think the last time I played the album was maybe a couple of years ago, and I was bored listening to it, even though it is a great album. All right, next one. So each album I I appreciate more and more, even if I don't listen to them. Yeah, I love early Elvis Costello. I've got a few of his albums, and my favorites are probably Imperial Bedroom, which I don't play. It's kind of the same as this album. I just don't need to listen to it much anymore. But my favorite is King of America. And I remember when this came out, this year's model. I loved the debut. And this was, at the time I felt, oh, this album rocks, and the production was better. And I just thought it was a much better album than the debut. Although looking back now, I think the debut might be better than this year's model. Let me know in the comment section below. But still, fantastic album. And I played it a lot back in 1978 and for a couple of years. And then after that, I was done. It's in my collection, but I probably haven't played it in at least 2 or 3 years. Next up. Yeah, I've talked about this album more than once. I've got everything by The Clash, and my favorite album of theirs is Sandinista. Well, I love all of their albums, from the original band. And London Calling is probably considered their best album, and I agree with that actually. But I would just rather listen to Sandinista, even though it's bloated and it's a bit too much. I just find it more interesting to listen to. I did play London Calling about a year ago, and I enjoyed it, definitely. But once again, it's going to sit in my collection for another year or 2 or 3, and I'll be listening to other albums by The Clash instead. Next up. Yeah. I remember when this album came out, and I loved it. And I still love it today. And I've got most of Talking Heads' albums. My favorites are probably Fear of Music and the following album. I forget the name of it at the moment. But Talking Heads are one of the greats, for sure. But I remember, like I said, I loved the album when it came out, and I played it quite often. But I got tired of it pretty quickly for whatever reason. And I probably haven't played this album in at least a couple of years. And I'm not saying I'll never play it again, but I'd rather listen to other Talking Heads albums. Number 1, it's Frank Zappa. I love Frank Zappa. I've got not every album of his, but maybe 40, 45. And this, in 1975, I'd never heard Frank Zappa's music, but I'd always been interested in hearing it. And I finally bought One Size Fits All, like I said, in 1975. And I was a fan instantly. And then I bought Bongo Fury the same year, and I became more of a fan. And also I slowly became a fan of Captain Beefheart too. And this is absolutely one of his best albums. I think it's a masterpiece, in fact. And I played it a lot back in the day. And now, I haven't played it in probably a year or so. And I would just rather, I just gravitate towards other Frank Zappa albums in my collection. Because I've heard this album enough, as I keep saying. I keep repeating myself. And that is it. So yeah, number 1, Frank Zappa, One Size Fits All. I would love your thoughts on this. And are there albums that you love that over time, or even in the first few months, you get tired of, and it's like, okay, I've heard enough of that. That's it. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Looking forward to your comments below.